dreamt of taking a safari to Africa, observing all that amazing wildlife up close, not to mention the stunning landscapes and terrain and the fascinating cultures. It has all the makings of the trip of a lifetime. So what do you need to know before planning your safari? Joining us now is the author of the book, Africa's Top Wildlife Countries, and the president of the Africa Adventure Company, Mark Nolting. Welcome, Mark. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Tanya.
If you would mind first telling us a bit about your personal story from the vantage point of so many people with desk jobs. You look pretty lucky running a safari company.
After I graduated from university, it was a pretty lousy job market. And so I said, I'm out of here. So I flew to Europe, and I spent what turned out to be 3 years working my way around the world, through Africa, Middle East, Southeast Asia, Far East. And I came back, and I love travel.
Right.
And I said, well, I want to start my own travel business. Where would I do it? I said, well, Africa was the most exciting, adventurous, knock your socks off place that I went. So
fantastic. And then you met your wife, who is a Zimbabwe native, correct?
Yes, yes.
And so she sort of, I'm sure, helped create this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I met Allison. She was running a safari camp in Zimbabwe, and after a 3-year long-distance relationship, she came over and joined us.
Fantastic. And here you are. Now you are the expert in running these safaris. Tell us what people need to consider before planning their safari. I mean, how far in advance do people generally start planning?
It really depends on how particular you are as far as what you want to do and where you want to go. I mean, there are a number of really top safari camps and lodges that if you're not booking 6 months to a year or more out, you're not going to get in,
right,
especially if you're trying to line up 2 or 3 great camps in a row on a safari.
Is the time of year very important?
It is. The best time to go is generally the dry season. I mean, what's wonderful is our summers, June through September, are fabulous everywhere. But also December, January, February, into March in East Africa.
These are great months to go. And which countries do you recommend, or does it depend on the time of year that there's always good viewing?
Well, there are a number of great safari countries to visit. We love Tanzania. Tanzania and Botswana are probably our 2 largest destinations. Tanzania is a phenomenal family vacation for everyone, basically. But it's got all the icons. It's got the great Serengeti migration, and the largest mountain in the world, not part of mountain chain Kilimanjaro. And that's where we send a lot of our multi-generational trips.
Right.
Which,
Mark, some people have questions about safety, both when it comes to getting very close to the wildlife. I mean, sometimes you see these pictures and you think, oh my gosh, they're so close. And also some people have questions about the political stability of some of the countries. Would you like to address those concerns? Yeah,
well, the key for safety in Africa is to go with a bona fide safari company who are using top guides, top equipment, and it's a very safe experience if you simply do what your guides tell you and use some common sense.
Right.
All of the countries that we send people to are safe for tourists, and there's a difference between safe for someone living out in the middle of nowhere versus being on a tour or with a company where all your transfers are included. You're always in the hands of top experienced people.
Right.
Then it becomes, it's got to be one of the safest trips in the world.
Give us an example of what someone can expect to experience. Can you give us some specific examples of a trip that maybe changed your life or changed a traveler's life?
Well, I mean, being out in the bush and around this amazing wildlife, which people dream about, and after 30 years of trying to explain to people what it's like to go on safari, I still can't get it across, but after they've been on one trip, they've got it.
What do they tell you?
It's just that in many cases, in virtually all cases, it's the best trip they've ever taken, especially multi-generational family trips. Kids don't have all the electronics and things like that. But what I personally love doing is getting out more into the adventure. Getting out with a professional guide armed that takes you walking close to big game, again with the right people. It's a very safe operation, going out and game viewing by boat and canoe and at night and during the day. It's all exciting.
And finally, for a lot of people, it's important to know that the safari company they travel with is contributing to the local communities in some way or to wildlife conservation. What do you guys do there?
Well, we do quite a bit. I mean, The safari camps and lodges that we pick and the local ground operators, we ensure that they are contributing directly to the local communities and also to conservation. And we have quite a few programs of our own, spearheading areas which really need help for conservation.
Do you have any tips for people who need to travel on a budget? For a lot of people that want to go, the cost can seem prohibitive. Are there budget options?
Well, there certainly are. I mean, you can go on a short safari for as little as $3,000 to $5,000 per person land cost.
Oh, you can.
And you don't have to take a group trip to have a cost-effective safari. That's one of the big misnomers of people. Because there are scheduled charter flights going to the camps all around Africa, and you just hop on and go out on activities with other people. But the main thing I want to leave you with is now's the best time to go to Africa. It'll never be a better time. So if anyone's interested in going, I mean, go now.
Great advice, Mark. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Tanya.